Note making has become an important part of school curriculum these days. This is an entirely new topic introduced to Class 11 course by Assam Higher Secondary Education Council a couple of years back. But the students of CBSE curriculum might be familiar with this. So students, today's topic will be note making, and I hope you will stay with me till the end of this class and understand things. So let's begin the class. Hi, I'm Swmdwn Islary, your English teacher, and today I'm going to teach you on a topic that is note making. Before we begin the lesson, please subscribe my channel and give a thumbs up and comment below so that I can bring more lessons to help the students like you. So let's begin the class. If you have this book, you can turn to page number 97 and study it whenever you like. This will help you. Now, what is note making? Let us discuss the importance. Note making is not just about writing down everything you hear or read. It is all about taking down notes of only the most significant and important points. It is very important for keeping concise notes for delivering speeches and lectures. For example, it wouldn't look quite intelligible to just carry a long note and read before your audience. Note making also involves taking down notes while attending lectures. This will help you to commit the information in your long-term memory. Note making is the best practice of recording information from a source or a platform. Now let's talk on the concept. The concept of note making. It's very simple. Avoid unnecessary details. Suppose if your teacher instructs you to bring a marigold flower and a rose leaf from the flower garden, what would you do? Follow the instruction or bring a bunch of flowers with leaves? Again, let us assume we are gathered in a playground and the game instructor tells you to run around the ground and find a sock with a hole. What will you do? For me, I'll not run around, but simply take out my shoe and pull out the sock and give it to the instructor. Fine. Well, it is a sock with a hole. Now just roll back 1 minute of your life and remember what was going on in your mind when the instructor first asked you to find a sock with a hole. You might have been asking yourself where to find a sock with a hole. I don't see any around. Just think, if a sock doesn't have a hole, how do you wear it? So, it is similar in the case of note making. You might think the teacher might be more impressed if you brought him as many flowers as you could grab. No, not at all. The teacher is not asking for the whole garden, but a marigold flower and a rose leaf. If you bring so many flowers, you are out of the game. So, just as you are going to ignore all the beautiful flowers of the garden for a marigold and a rose leaf, you have to ignore all the details for only a few significantly important points. Well, keeping in mind this idea, I hope you will have a great note-making journey ahead. Now let's talk on how to approach. As a rule of thumb, generally you are advised to read the passage carefully before you write. But this advice practically doesn't work. Why? Because the passage comes in at least 4 paragraphs, which is lengthy enough to make you lose your valued examination time. So, the best approach is to straightforward go with the first paragraph. For that, follow these few steps. Number 1, find the headline of the paragraph. Number 2, find and underline at least 2 subheadings. Number 3, shorten or abbreviate the keywords. And lastly, the title of the note. Okay, you might have a very big confusion regarding why I have put title at the last. The reason behind is the title should not be incoherent to what we have written. The title and the note should match perfectly. That's why after finishing everything that we are required to write out of the passage, we have to decide the title and write it out on the top of your note. Okay? Let us now take an example and do it step by step. Here's a passage for you, and we are going to write a note on this passage. Here's step 1. Starting with the first paragraph, you have to find the headlines and related subheadings under every headline. In the question paper, you will be asked to write at least 5 to 8 abbreviated forms of words. Repeat this pattern and make 3 headlines at least. Are you ready, guys? Let's crack it now. You can use any of these 2 easy to use formats. Remember, you are not supposed to collect all the flowers from the garden. This passage reflects how the decorum of the room reflects the mindset of the people who live there. So, our first point is home reflects personality of homeowner. Related to that, we have the first subheading, which is unity and harmony between rooms. Here, harmony and between are shortened for abbreviated forms. Take some time to read the passage and you will find the second subheading is also very clear. Styling and color should fit. Now we will move on to second headline. In this case, you will have to read paragraph number 2, 3 and 4 and find out the elements of decoration. As you have already been told not to collect all the flowers of the garden, similarly here also we are not going to collect all the details but only a few important elements. So here under the elements of decoration we find color schemes in the first point and draperies, upholstery, woods and shapes in the second. For the third headline, we will choose plan to enjoy the house. Now the question is, how do we plan so that we can enjoy the house? Obviously, number 1 point comes limit time, effort and money. In the second subheading, by selecting furnishings which require little care, we can plan to enjoy the house. In the third subheading, we can also plan to enjoy the house by confining the hectic activities to only a few rooms. This will help you to keep command over your own house. In the fourth subheading, we are going to talk about the hobbies connected with the house, which will bring great pleasure. Now let us see what hobbies are related to the decoration of the house. In the subheading 3.4, we will come across subheadings. Here in the first number A, we will see collection of glass, antiques and art. In the second subheading, we have indoor gardening. And in the third subheading, we have cooking. Now in the fourth heading, we have choice of color. Here in the first point, we have one color should predominate. And in the second point, we have calm colors for restfulness and intense liveliness. And in the third point, we have colors should harmonize with furniture, carpets, and draperies. The elements of restfulness and liveliness can be traced back in paragraph number 3. Sometimes you have to locate the significantly important points scattered here and there in the passage. I know it is tough for most of you, but you keep the guts and learn to do things. If you don't work hard, it's not going to come handy. Now it's time to write out the title on top of your finished note. Now these are the abbreviated forms that we have used in the note. Please follow this. Now if you are asked to write the summary of the passage, this is how you write it. You should be very brief in writing the summary. It is about 1/4 the size of the original passage. And at last, I believe that this class has helped you immensely in understanding the concept of note making. Never think that you can't do anything, but keep practicing, learn to think. That will help you immensely in coming out of your problems. And with this note of exhortation, I'm going to close the video today. Thank you for watching.